this is how we end up. The game is set to play. Every day remains the same now. One decision we obey. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just ride all the way to the rainbow's end. Just ride, and we'll never turn our backs again. Just drive. Just ride. Just ride.
Calzone. 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 Don't touch my calzone. Don't touch my calzone. Don't touch my calzone. I want my pizza. I want my pizza. I want my pizza. I want my calzone. 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 Don't touch my calzone. Don't touch my calzone. Don't touch my calzone. Pizza. Pizza calzone. Pizza. Pizza calzone. I want my pizza. I want my pizza. I want my pizza. I want my
All right, I should not let this get too out of hand before I do mic check, and mention that I love calzone.
I want my pizza.
Yeah, I love calzone.
I want real pizza. We don't have that.
With like actual mozzarella. I want calzone. Like, we don't have real calzones here.
We have tried like so many of the pizza places around us, and we have no good pizza here.
I want calzones filled with ricotta. Well, Danielle, I can make my own pizza too. I just never have the energy.
Yeah, and there's I mean, we're from Connecticut, and there is like good home pizza on every corner, and it's just not here where we are.
I've stopped even saying that anymore because I feel like I've said that 5 times to every person I've ever met.
Yeah, but you know what? I did meet someone once who agreed with me in the store because they had lived in Connecticut for a few years, and they were like, "Yeah, I miss it."
Oh. Alright, well, we were a little late getting everything open, so the blast doors are about to close. Do you have anything you want to say?
We got Barb with us tonight, I believe. Hi, Barb.
Barb, or somebody, if that's your real name. Gonna be a fun evening. Oh, no. No.
I'm standing in a blurry
A
dream.
little bit later than I thought.
No one else can.
All right, we'll see you in a minute or two.
Stands the side away.
Don't tell me that it's over. Never say that I can't relate. I still wanna come over, 'cause I know that it's not too late. Too late, too late, too late, too late. I know I made mistakes, I know I lied. I should have noticed, yeah, I should have tried. And all the love that I just ignored, I'm gonna revive it, I'm gonna revive it. Come now, give me a moment, 'cause you know about the place I'm from.
This is Halloween.
Halloween?
It's October 31st, and this is your Smart Doll News.
Okay. Except I didn't press it hard enough. That was so perfectly timed. Buttons will be the death of me. Buttons!
Happy Halloween, everyone!
It's Mimikyu says spooky Smarties, which is way more fun and alliterative to say.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm a little on edge tonight.
You are.
Well, cause like, you know, everything was last minute, and
Yeah.
also what was last minute was getting all the stuff outside to tell people, leave us alone. Get off our lawn. We have no candy. We have candy, but it's not for you.
We don't have candy.
Yes, that's true. We don't know. We have no candy. If we don't get candy. Yeah, I'm a little punchy. But we've got some stuff to talk about tonight. A little bit of stuff. We've got some shoes.
Shoes. Very excited about shoes.
Some crafting opportunities. Probably some like sales opportunity. Like
For people who have shops, yeah.
Yeah, some good opportunities for someone to really, punch into the market on shoes for smart dolls, which is almost non-existent.
Right.
But of course, first off, we have our Super Smarties.
We want to thank Linda Lyons for her super sticker that she left for us.
She left us a super thanks.
Super thanks.
Our
Sorry.
first ever super thanks on a video. And for those of you who don't know what a super thanks is, it's basically like a super chat, except you do it it's not live. And you get a comment that is, sort of promoted, and you get an animation in the video for you, and and of course you get to support us, and we appreciate it so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
So Linda, fantastic. We love you. We couldn't be happier and more grateful for you and all of our supporters who are here every week as well. So we also have some headlines. Let's dig into them. We've got shoes, as we talked about.
Yes.
This is the big story of this week. Shoe patterns Danny has been promising for quite some time are out. And he has a whole article here talking about it. Do you have any takeaways from this, Sandy?
There were a few things. There were some amusing things, like with a background, he says, with a background in making shoes, my father has made a pair or two.
Wink, wink.
I mean, I'm sure most of you know, but, some people that are new to Smart Doll might not know that Danny Chu is the son of Jimmy Chu, the very, very famous shoe designer.
Yeah.
So that's very, very amusing. We make Smart Doll shoes as miniature human shoes, which include miniature components such as stiffeners and toe puff. But those are things that are more difficult, or they're more to obtain. So he modified the patterns to make them more understandable and make it for somebody with less experience.
I would love to know what the difference is. What are some of the things that he really had to simplify, so that you don't have to have as much experience. And I'd love to see from, how are these really for somebody making it with zero shoemaking experience.
I'm sure it will be showing up in our Smart Doll sewing group on Facebook. People will be making the shoes. I haven't looked in a while, but I'm very excited for them, and I'm excited that he's also put out soles for in rubber in case you don't have a 3D printer, and he did give some other ways in which you could still make the shoes if you don't have a 3D printer. So
right, and he says here. One of the things. Well, all right. So let's talk real quick about the terminology that he lays out here, which is basic shoe terminology. Most people know what the upper and the sole is for the most part, but the upper is essentially the leather, the leather or fabric part of the shoe, and the sole being the bottom, the rubber or leather, I suppose, on a dress shoe.
But he did also say that it is the inside part of the shoe without the toes. It looks like a footprint without the toes. That it can also be referred to as a sole.
Yep.
So.
And then, of course, the lasts, which I think is the lesser known term for a lot of people. What is a last, Sandy?
The last is the mold of the foot that goes inside the shoe that they use to shape the shoe around.
Right. So the really cool thing here is, with all of this, it's like, hey, you can 3D print this stuff. You can 3D print lasts. You can 3D print the soles. And he also then suggests, hey, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but you could just put clay and stuff around a regular foot.
Around a smart doll foot. And like putty.
Yeah,
that
not
you can
your foot.
Right. Putty that you can take off and, just if you've got a foot that got damaged, or even, if you use the right stuff, you can even use a regular foot and it'll still be fine.
We've got Barb from Enchantarium in the chat, and she just says, I just finished a pair today, and that's why I'm up so late.
I was wondering, I was in my head going,
What time is it?
Well, I think they fell back this week.
Oh, that could be. So a little bit easier. But still, that first week of falling back, that's like, I don't feel like you've really hit the time change until a few weeks in.
Right.
It's just all your times that you have to be in places has changed. But Barb, really good to hear. Cannot wait to see what you do with it or any feedback that you might have. And for those of you looking to start doing this or see what other people are doing, be sure to check out our Discord. And I'm sure as different people who have 3D printers in the community start messing around with this, we'll start to have some more tips and things that we need to know going into it, flowing into there as well.
I would imagine people will start selling, people who have 3D printers might start selling their own shoe bases too.
Right.
And
you have obviously different colors. There's a lot of different ways as well that you can make. He does specifically mention on the shoe bases, on the soles, or the shoe bases, that you would want to use like a rubberized resin or something that your material is flexible
because it has to flex to the foot.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is, thank you for the reminder, Lee. There is a link to the Discord in the description for each of our videos. So that is, let's see if there's anything else here. We can actually start to see some of the fabric patterns for the different pieces. This looks like the lace-up shoe on the left and the Takashin boots on the right. This is just fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I want to make like a pair of like Doc Martens. I want to make some using. I have this stuff called it's Decaville. It's a type of stabilizer that allows cotton to act like leather.
Okay.
So I was thinking about doing that with like even a like a Liberty Lawn print, and making a floral boot like the way Doc Marten does their like different art boots, like with flowers and things like that on them.
We can see here the rubber soles that he has put out, the bases, and it's always interesting to see, what they've done here to reduce the weight and the material usage, creating a structure for it to sit on, but a lot of it is hollow. And this is just probably boots at the bottom. There you go. Okay. What?
Those are boot bottoms.
Oh, this is the okay. Yes, thank you.
It kind of looks like a weird twisted razor blade thing.
I know. I was so confused by this. It was like some weird like pixelated like superhero mask. Thank you. And here they are as well. Very cool. I gotta say, one of the most impressive things about this The thing I love here is Danny says, "Why buy our stuff when you can make your own?"
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this has to do with, again, Danny's got his plans, and he loves to make the stuff that he wants to make. And he largely makes the stuff that he would use and want. And enabling his customers to do this, things like make boots and to do it well, really broadens the usability or the accessibility of the dolls, because you can do almost anything with them.
Right. You don't have to spend the money on a pair of boots, although they are so worth it.
Yeah. They're incredibly worth it. And it'll be interesting to see what people price their own boots at once they go through the process of actually figuring out how to make them.
And make them nicely. Yeah.
Versus mass produce them. But I gotta say, again, thank you, Danny. It really hits home your mentality on, your business, that you're not going to grow into areas just because people want that particular thing, but you're going to do your best to give us the tools to be able to do it ourselves.
Yeah, and if there are enough nice quality boots off of these patterns put out there, then he can ease back on production of boots a little bit and put those resources towards something else that he wants to work on.
Yeah, and it can also help, he may not be discontinuing these specific boots or anything, but he may be getting more experimental with things, dolls, sort of fluctuate in stock, so do apparel items, things like that. We can see here, this is the free pattern page as it stands today. We've even got the tabby, which is very cool. So many things.
Yeah, he's put a lot out there so far.
And I know a lot of people dove straight for the big one, which is the Sequoia jacket.
And you know what? I have seen so many of those made, and they are looking beautiful.
Yeah.
So the pattern may be easier than it looks like it would be.
Sure. Again, definitely something we want to figure out and get feedback on and see where they are. But Danny also did a lot of work on these patterns to make them much more accessible versus the old patterns, which is basically, I'm just going to put our patterns up there, figure it out.
Yeah, you can figure it out. If you have experience with sewing, you could figure out those patterns.
Yep.
But
it took more effort, and nothing was in English.
Yeah. Just because by nature of looking at sewing patterns for enough of your life, you start to go, okay, I have to do this, and then I do this, and then I do this, and this hooks to this. But it's so much nicer the way that he has fixed them up.
Yep. Again, accessibility. That is the word of the day, I think. Okay. We talked about this last week, but Danny has moved into a new apartment, and I think he's kind of answered some of the questions we had.
Yep.
He put out this sort of kind of tour of what the apartment is like, some of the things in it, and so let's take a look. This, beautiful. Again, we were seeing different
that
skylines.
view is stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. And in the morning, I just love I can just imagine we had an apartment, or I had an apartment, I should say, when we were first dating, that had this. It was enclosed, but it was like a balcony sort of porch.
Yep.
And just sitting out there in the morning, it was really was just a nice. I don't know. I can still put myself back there. We haven't had a porch.
Yeah,
or
cool.
anything
As long
that.
as it wasn't full of the smell of roommates' clove cigarettes.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me misses the smell, but he talks about something interesting here, which is, something I think is different everywhere. Even in the United States, state to state, there's a lot of weird stuff with real estate, rentals, and various things. And he said basically that he had you can have up to like the need to pay up to like 6 months worth of fees of rent ahead of time in order to get into an apartment, and how crazy it is there. And he also does talk about the sort of the anti-foreigner sentiment.
Yeah, I was surprised that actually even held true for him, because he's been in Japan for so long, and he participates in all the cultural things, and he knows so many people.
Yeah, I mean, like, but he's on, like, cabinets and stuff. Like this is a guy who represents Japan, but is not Japanese.
Yeah. And so he had to go through, well, I don't even want to look at this apartment. He said you have to ask your real estate agent, I don't even want to look at this apartment if we don't know for sure that they'll take a foreigner.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, it sounds like they protected themselves off the bat and just made it so that they didn't have to deal with it. Because, I mean, imagine going through all this effort and work and getting someplace and just being treated poorly, or just being flat out denied, because you're not Japanese. It is, it's something that is, it's sad no matter where you go. And I think this is one of those places where it can feel very open at times, but also very closed off at times, in Japan as a foreigner. So very interesting to see, like, from his point of view, of, again, he says, I love Japan, but, from this point of view, in this instance, it's pretty rough. And he actually says they will say no pets or foreigners allowed. So you get lumped in with animals, basically.
Right. That's, yeah. He did talk about how basically with all the fees that you have to pay, you need like 7 months worth of rent when you go to get an apartment.
Yeah,
for
it
the
can
first
get that
time.
high, yeah.
Yeah. But he said that the money they got back from their old place, they actually gave as like a gratuity to the landlord.
Yep. Which is, I mean, I gotta say, I was reading about things, where was it? South Carolina, North Carolina, something like that, where it's like, you basically are tipping, you have like a non-refundable like fee that you're gonna pay like X percentage just to prove that you're serious, and you can't get it back, and it's just over the top of everything.
Right.
It doesn't even, so it's like, so if you want to make an offer and things go wrong, like, even if it's their fault or their problem, doesn't matter. They can rake in some cash.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're accustomed to security deposit. And he says their security deposit is like, we rarely ever get it back. They use it to clean the apartment, etc.
Right.
Whereas I know when we've moved out of apartment, we would clean the apartment top to bottom, etc. and so forth. And usually they walk through and go, yeah, that's fine. Here's your deposit back.
Yeah. Well, we've also generally stayed a very long time.
Yeah.
And developed a decent relationship and had very little issues in terms of been a good tenant, so haven't been a problem for them, but also let them know of basic maintenance stuff, but their cost on that, those apartments were usually low for us. We had very little, needs and, caused very little damage to anything. So, it's definitely in America. It's more accustomed to if you're nice and they're nice, you get your deposit back.
Right.
Or I should say, if you didn't do anything horrible that requires massive amounts of cleaning. He also notes that the it says the large living room kitchen makes up for the tiny bedroom and bathroom. So they sort of switched kind of the space. They got more living space, less sleeping space.
But less space all over. He said it's actually the space in general. The apartment is smaller than their old apartment.
Yeah. He says new workspaces, like 2 meters wide, but it's nice and cozy. We'll take a peek at some of these pictures. This is his workspace. So it's like basically a cubicle with one egg, just...
It's 2 meters is edging in on 7 feet.
Yeah.
So...
but as I mentioned, nice big living area. And you can see they've got their table, their dining table, Danny's gamer chair, and the TV there. Oh God, look at the light. Just the volume of natural light coming into this place.
As we sit here in our study with darkening blinds down and
Yeah. No, we do not like light is not our friends.
I love light, but not in this room.
No, yeah, this room gets no light. And unpacking in the office. So this is interesting. You can actually see here, the balcony is this tile up here, and it looks like it has drainage and such. And what they've actually done is a custom cedar wood.
An overlay.
Yep.
Which looks beautiful.
And he says that, where is it?
The wooden deck.
I think there was mentioned above, I think, or maybe not. Well, he does say down here at the bottom that the wooden deck was a DIY job with cedar from Atwood Pro 21 in Hiroshima. So this is I'm not sure if it's reclaimed wood. I think that's what I read somewhere, but okay. Either way, it's absolutely gorgeous. And going back to the beginning, now that we see this deck in new light and understand, I can only imagine just walking out onto that deck in bare feet and just... the feeling of the wood and everything. It just looks... Yeah,
he said that's one of the reasons they picked that apartment, was for that balcony.
That balcony, yeah.
Yep.
And that gives you, again, it's what are you trading off, And it sounds like the trade-offs they made in terms of, sleeping area and things like that, they gained in sort of the living space, this beautiful, even this is a living space. Mm-hmm. As long as it's not completely, it's not raining or something. But
they got a good sized living space, and now he can have people to his house a lot easier if he wanted to,
Yeah.
I think if you've got a small apartment, you would want to sacrifice your bedroom size, etc., in favor of your overall living space.
I wonder how things are in Japan if, bringing friends back to your place is something that happens, or is it mostly go out, go out to a restaurant or, drinking or whatever. It's just, it's something that interests me culturally wise, but, so that's, a lovely peek.
We got to look at Danny's apartment.
Yep. We also have, we can see here he did put up the rubber soles. And he also released these today. And I'm like, a little warning, Danny.
But I mean, it's Halloween and he's giving you Christmas. I think that's a pretty decent warning.
No, well, no, but I was like, can I get these done by tonight? I did start And I did look at getting the t-shirts, and because of course they're going to be holiday shirts, I let me see if I can bring up. I did some work on adjusting the colors so that I could put a red shirt version.
Right.
So there's gonna be a red shirt, a green shirt, a black shirt. I think I got an ice blue shirt and a white shirt.
We should look at like the like ringer tees and baseball tees too. Maybe there's a red or a green.
Well, I'm thinking it's holidays that will put these on like sweatshirts and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Something
On the
nice and
hoodies.
cozy or whatever. So let's take a quick peek at myladydisdain.com. We still have Halloween shirts available. They will be available, I don't know, I'll arbitrarily say right now, through this week.
Okay.
And then basically when I pop up the other shirts, the Halloween shirts will come down.
Okay.
So this week is your last chance to get the limited edition Halloween collection. I guess I can just click this. Which we are sporting here. And some of them are just the character shirts, like this new Boo.
Boo. I'd be wearing Boo.
And some of the kind of composite or shirts that I made for like Best Witches. Lots of fun options. I will be looking at least doing one sort of more involved group t-shirt for the holiday, for our festive girls.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot God, she is so cute.
I like Kizuna with the sack. That's my favorite.
Well, they all have sacks, but
Well, not all of them. There's 4 of them that do.
well, 5 technically if you include Chi.
Oh,
but...
hers is she's getting out of hers.
Or she's just empty and she's just being weird. So yeah, I don't know. I almost want to make like I don't know, like 10 AGs, pulling a sleigh or something.
Someone said they want ugly sweater style tees, and I actually have an idea for that we can talk about.
Yeah, okay. We can do some all over print tees, and maybe do something with them on it, like them on a. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We can possibly play with the embroidery software to get the images we need to do like ugly sweater version.
I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but
We'll talk about it.
if it ends up being digital, we don't really need that. If we're actually trying to, I will say this as a tease, one of the problems that we've had with embroidery is that there's too many tones, skin tones, and like blonde hair, like the skin is different. It's just too many colors to
Right.
digitize some of these. We have a new option. It's very limited, and it's definitely a chunk more expensive. But there is a new option where we'll be able to essentially color thread as it's going into the embroidery machine. This is with our vendor, where they can actually just digitally ink the thread as it's going in and do whatever they want. So we can have unlimited colors. And if that's true, we might actually start seeing some actual embroidery versions of the Chibis, like patches or something like that. But it's a ways off, and it was definitely adding, like, I don't know, it looked like it was going to be like $10 more per item, which on something like a patch...
That makes a very expensive patch.
Yeah. So we'll have to see where that goes. Yeah. love these. These will be coming soon, and some other variations as well. Okay, now the sad news.
Yeah, we got some discontinued girls, or decommissioning girls.
So these girls are on their way, all Coco, which is possibly a good sign, which we'll get to, but we've got Kabuki, Ambition,
Coco Ambition is so good.
and Relentless Anime in Coco.
Yeah, so Smart Doll, Kabuki, and Coco, she's held on for quite a while now.
She's gonna be the last Kabuki, and if it holds true, and Danny, there's not enough interest in Kabuki anymore, and it's run its course, and we're not gonna see a gray Kabuki, for instance, which he said there wasn't any plans currently.
Yeah, I know. She looks so cool in gray.
This will be the last of an era, as far as I'm concerned. This wasn't a long era, but over a year, and this Kabuki was not the thing that got me into Smart Dolls, but one of the things that just tipped everything over, over the top for me. It was so, the theater aspect, the cultural significance of it,
She just is cool looking.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So her Ambition Coco, which hasn't. I didn't really even realize she came out as a whole doll. I thought she was only an option head.
No, she's pretty much, there hasn't been Coco option heads, per se.
Right, they've all been full dolls. And then Relentless and Anime and Coco. So these are ones that he has decided to decommission to make room for others.
Now, the good news could be, cross your fingers, that this is a sign that things are moving forward with the body supply for the other skin tones. And he needs to make room, resources-wise, for more dolls, not just in Coco.
Right, because he has had a lot of Coco dolls out for a while because the bodies were there.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be able to bring back, hopefully, Cinnamon and Tea and Gray, and we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, the post-apocalyptic jackets in Ash Gray and Wine. They're really nice. We have the Wine one. Mm-hmm. We never did get the Gray, but...
No, they're solid to own, and so, all those two, at least, are discounted. So they're at 16,900 yen. If you want to catch those before they go. But basically this is, selling out. I don't know. It's hard to know how long the dolls are going to be there, unless there's like a last minute rush for people wanting to grab them before they, disappear. But they, it's going to be whenever they sell out.
Well, this, Somi Animations says Relentless Coco is super cool looking. Kind of sad to see her decommissioning. She is cool looking. But is her semi-real version still out there? Is the maybe he has opted to keep the semi-real and lose the anime version.
I believe so, but let's double check. Coco. Yep.
Yeah. So semi-real is sticking around for a bit. I actually really like her in semi-real.
Yeah, but that M1, the M1 sculpt is so good. So it's sad. We may see, I don't know if we've seen North.
We haven't
Anime
seen
North
in Coco.
And that would actually probably be option heads, would be my guess. Let's just double check on option heads. Yeah, just Cinnamon and Tea. So, we did see some blue girls come and go. We're getting down there. I think we still might have like every release, every drop. Danny's like, okay, maybe a little more. Maybe a little more. So we'll see. But yeah, Relentless is still around. And, you know, of course, Anime Relentless still available, just doesn't look like she's going to be back in the lineup once she has sold out.
Right.
It'll also be interesting to know, because decommissioning hasn't always meant, like, out completely. And some, you know, it really kind of depends. It probably does, but he did talk about wanting to create buckets of, like, once in a blue moon they're here, you know, like
Only during an eclipse.
yeah, like
Always available. I forget what the other two
sometimes,
were.
you know, it was like frequent, infrequent, and rare kind of thing.
Right.
And maybe you would see some of these go into that. You also have, you know, things can be gone and still come back.
Right.
Like, they've invested, like, do I still hold hope that Danny will make a gray kabuki? Yes. Mainly because he's capable of it.
Right.
And if there's demand enough, he may do it. Maybe it's a small run at some point. But, you know, a lot of the blue dolls have been, all right, people, what do you want to see?
Right.
Tell me what to make. So, you know, we'll see. I don't think, you know, I don't think you're going to see these randomly popping up. But in the future, somewhere down the line, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, because Danny can do whatever he wants. So we are going to take a moment. Oh, we're back in black and white. I forgot to turn it off. We're going to take a moment and ask you, how you doing? Are you enjoying yourself?
We're enjoying ourselves.
Hopefully that's somewhat evident, and hopefully the feeling is mutual. And if it is, we would love it if you hit that like button. It is single-handedly one of the best ways that you can help spread this video to more people. And we really appreciate it. All of your support every single week, whether you're with us live or whether you're, you know, watching us on the replay or our uploaded videos. We really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's talk behind the scenes. All right. It's not really, I mean...
That's a squee-worthy one.
yeah, well, okay. That's a good point. Let's see if this button even still works.
Nope.
Well, sort of. It's just... I think the sound happened. No, that's really weird. It should be above everything. Well, that's what you get. That was the one thing that I had not yet figured out. Huh?
I said, oh.
Oh. Well, there's probably a couple other things.
I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. I might even be able to do... No, it's still not coming up. That's very bizarre. I will look into that later. So, this is Smart Doll Plus. Smart Doll Plus Fortitude.
Fortitude in the G7 sculpt. And it looks like she's wearing medium boobage.
I mean, it's at least medium.
Yeah.
It's certainly not small. It's not the... Yeah, small is the normal size.
Mm-hmm. It might be push-up. I don't know.
No, I think it's medium. But yeah, this is... We definitely... I mean, we kept saying no. I don't want him, and at this point, I cannot wait, to see when he starts getting the new ones out. But I don't know how long that's going to take. So we may start looking for like old ones. I don't know.
I had a thought. Gray Smart Doll Plus Zombie Anomaly.
How amazing would that be for Halloween?
A 4-foot tall,
4-foot tall zombie.
cute zombie.
Somehow, I don't see it happening.
I don't think it's going to happen either, but it's a cute idea.
Yes, it is. All right. We've got this picture of the, we've seen this in a couple iterations, and it's always called the Evolve frame, but it's got these elements of, like the sort of cyborg things. I think he just made these for fun to kind of put on here, like when it's not, when it's just the frame by itself, so they can kind of be a thing. Because this doesn't look like a mech thing. I mean, it could be. It could be the basis for a mech thing, but I'm pretty sure this is. I think this is just the frame. I don't know. This is all very decorative. So we've seen a couple of different versions, and it's hard to know what's what.
It's pretty cool. The hands are pretty cool, though, because, I mean, you could actually... I mean, I guess they seem bigger. They seem more like guy hands, but they could actually be, if your smart doll was, say, missing a hand and you wanted to give her a cyborg hand.
Yeah, they do look kind of big, don't they? I kind of like them, though. They're definitely not dainty, but of course, I mean, they're like robot-style hands.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you put a smart doll hand next to it, maybe it would be appropriate. But right now, they look, probably because they're just looking at the frame, they look kind of big.
Yeah. The Barbie Witch says, articulated fingers, always a win. And, I mean, we've said this a million times. I believe we got confirmation at some point from Danny.
They're not articulated. They
Never
look
going to be.
like they are, but they're not.
Yeah, they're designed to be that style.
Like the combat gloves have the things all over the the different ridges and stuff all over them. These have finger joint.
Because
molding.
it's supposed to be something that could move because it's a robot sort of thing. The fiddliness of those tiny little articulations, and even just putting that stuff together, insane. So we also have a boot, the biomech boots. We can see them being painted back here for dolls, and here for humans?
Smart Doll Plus?
Okay. Smart Doll Plus should be double the size. In fact, well, maybe, I don't know if I remember saying double, but he was talking about being able to just scale up the boot pattern. This is like 4 times the size.
Yeah.
That is a human's foot. And I would go wager that is probably a Japanese human's foot.
Or Danny's foot.
Well, I'm saying whatever. I mean, but like, it's one size. It's not made for Americans. It's not like size 12.
Right.
I think he made himself some biomech boots, and I just want to know, like, how do you get in there? Like, how is it, all the vinyl boots have been...
Well, I mean, if you have, like, people wear, like, hunter boots and stuff like that, like galoshes and whatnot, and those actually, you can get them on your foot. They flex a little bit, the vinyl does.
Right, yeah. It's high, like the height of it seems kind of odd. I don't know. I wonder if he ended up having to... It just seems like pulling them on might be too much. But that is... I mean, this took me a minute looking at this, and I went, wait a minute. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I would also like to point out. The colors.
Transformer red, blue, and yellow.
So again, we're seeing the Transformers come in. We're seeing the Transformer colors going on to doll boots, biomech boots, and I this is starting to make me feel like he is creating it's not what you would typically do as a license. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not replicating a character. It would be more like what the shoe industry or fashion industry would call a collab, mm-hmm. where it's like Transformers X Smart Doll, and it is gear for your Smart Doll, like an outfit that is
Based
stylized
on the Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be actually really cool.
And I think it's really focusing on the colors, because we haven't seen him. Now maybe he is, but we haven't seen him do anything like new. Mm-hmm. We've seen him coloring things that exist, things that we have already. Mm-hmm. So I could see there being like some really weird, cool, and maybe it's a Smart Doll Plus. I don't know, but we don't see that size here. We see what looks like regular size and then human size. But maybe it's a full-on doll that is also painted, these colors and stuff.
I mean, this could be another promotional thing too. Like, he did that Tales of whatever doll that was only a one-off mm-hmm. for the video game, and I mean, this could just be something, for
just like a fun project. Yeah. No, this is I've been confused most of the time, and now I'm actually getting kind of excited about the possibilities of mm-hmm. like, just like assuming it's not a specific person, or maybe it is a specific robot. Somebody mentioned Danielle Duval mentioned what do I think it's Bumblebee. Mm-hmm. And obviously yellow,
right? But
that's very much yellow and black, I believe, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Bumblebee's awesome.
But it could be something that, and then an Optimus Prime doll or something. I think it would be great if all it is costume stuff.
Yeah, costume pieces for the dolls that are inspired by Transformers.
Yeah.
Do they have an anniversary coming up?
That's a good question. Transformers and Transformers the movie 35th anniversary. When was this? Is this now? No.
It was 1986.
No, that's
last year was 35th anniversary.
Yeah, of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll keep our eye on this. If you find anything, let us know. But yeah, we can see the blue and yellow and stuff. Here we have his resin 3D printer. This is actually the same exact one we have, the Elegoo Saturn S. And he is using, it looks like he is dyeing his resin. I believe that's what...
That's what we got down there is resin dye. So it's making a peach color.
Well, I think this is tea.
Is it?
I think that's tea.
What does it look like? The cup? Yeah, that could be tea. Looking at it in the cup next to it.
I believe it's also gonna change a bit when it's exposed and then cured.
Right.
But I mean, not too much, but a little bit. I think it gets a little bit darker if I'm remembering correctly. But so we have. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. This thing, like, I have no clue what this is, other than that, hey, I see blue, yellow, and red again.
Is it like cast off stuff or like cleaning off something and it ends up like that? I don't know what I mean, it looks like a piece of fruit.
I think it's like mixing with the dyes, would it be my
Maybe
guess?
that's the colors that make...
I don't know. I mean, it is like you've got a little bit of blue in there or something like that. It's just weird that it's that circle. This BJD Doll Fam says that's the Tony Stark. It's the oh god, now I can't even think of the name. I had it. It was like there. But the arc reactor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Okay. This I'm excited for.
Stealth camouflage cyborg bust, but only if you don't rescue Meryl, which you said is a reference to what?
Metal Gear.
Okay.
So, it's I believe it's Solid Snake's daughter, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, now we're seeing the cyborg bust in clear. This is, I'm not sure yet whether or not I would end up wanting this.
I think that would be so cool, painted with a paint that leaves it clear. Like not putting an opaque on it, putting a tint on it.
Sure.
So like in like blue or pink or like a fuchsia would look awesome like on parts of it. So
Yeah.
you could just paint panels of it. That would look really cool.
I would like to see like opaque painted sections if it can work, like the port here,
Right.
You know, these here in black, you know, or dark gray or something, so that it's like it's getting different materials. The neck.
Point is, there's a lot of opportunities to have fun with the cyborg bust.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cool. I would even be interested to see like take a pencil into the lines. Mm-hmm. And accent that in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Or you'd see how it's got the lines for the bust that's like a corset or a bra type top.
Yep.
You could actually opaque paint the boobs, but
Yep.
then leave some more of it clear, which would look really cool.
Yeah, especially if like you have that whatever is here on the bust, the front of the bust, is blending in with however you've painted the torso. Mm-hmm. So it becomes almost. It actually becomes very superhero, like, you know, female superhero, like, I don't know. Like, if it was red, it would be Scarlet Witch.
Right. There's blue. Someone commented there's blue bodies behind there, too.
Yep. This was earlier. I think there was a blue drop after this.
Okay.
But, yeah, he's still burning through some.
There's still some blue
vinyl.
out there. Yeah.
So that I'm very much looking forward to. Okay. We talked about this last week. We got some
Cyborg
more pictures.
Painted body.
I want to know, how are they painting this? Like, my assumption, being that it's frickin' like exact, it's a stencil. Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine, and we haven't seen anything like a mask, like the electroplating mask.
Danny showed like drawing it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You think someone's just drawing this? I don't think these are drawn by hand, because these are drawing, and they've got the spray.
Yeah.
Spray. They're doing some sort of
Right.
words.
Some sort of stenciling.
So, yes, some sort of airbrushing.
Yeah.
Using assumedly a stencil. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're not seeing like blowout or anything like that. You're not seeing like it looks. It's all right. So Magic Durgan calling us out. Magic Durgan says it's being stenciled onto a mold for the bodies, and then the vinyl dropped in. It would be a cool trick. Oh, I misunderstood that. Yeah. I don't. It is. I guess I don't think you can get that into a mold properly unless it's, well, I guess with like silicone molds or whatever, but then how would you have exactly those things made, you know?
Yeah, those aren't raised up or anything. They're drawn.
Yeah.
So I think that this is going to be a special piece.
Because let's peep that cat scratcher as a drying rack. I believe they just use their, like
Packaging.
cardboard. And,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, if you peel off a layer of cardboard, you get that.
let's take a look at some of the other newer shots. So we've got a full body. This is just looking great. Love this. Now this. See, these are the points where I'm like, if Danny's watching this, he's just laughing his butt off at us because we have no idea
what we're looking at.
We at first I was like, it's like eyeballs. What we're seeing here is a ball joint, a double ball joint. My gut says shoulders.
Okay.
Mainly because these weird, like, pegs, sort of, that are coming out here would imply to me that this is something that sits like this, and so has a ball joint coming out of either left and right side, like, somewhat like it's pictured.
Okay.
Versus, like, you know, why would it be a section on the spine or something? You know?
Right.
The other thing that I thought about, Barbie Witch says articulated eyes. If those are the eyes, they're facing like completely the wrong direction. And I just don't know what these are. These look like neck pegs. I'm wondering if this is some sort of piece of a new frame for the Plus.
Maybe.
Barbie Witch says, "Don't ruin my fun. That's my job." I don't know. This is, what do you guys, tell us what you think. Tell us what you think in the comments. What the heck is this? I don't see that. Magic Jurgen says wing ports for in the back of the vinyl busts. I mean, again, that's not a bad idea.
If we're talking about Transformers too.
If we're talking about like this is how like something
Plugs into the back.
The weird thing about that is, though, okay, so if this is something that attaches to a doll, the requirements, assuming that I believe this to be a socket. These two things are a socket, which means the doll has to have coming out their back,
right,
two rods, whatever.
Someone commented, Kelly Poplar commented that those are peanut joints. At least one of them. It looks like they both are, actually.
Magic Jurgen says, I think this will be a section of the bust frame, and the holes will be added to the busts. See, I think if this were wings, let's just go with that for a second. I think this goes on the back, and these are the joints for the wings.
Okay.
Otherwise, this would likely be the shoulders or something. You have these. I mean, well, okay. I guess what we're saying is that if this were a spine piece, and it would be vertical, so we would tilt this to the left, like till it's straight up and down, and we've got a ball joint coming out, or the peanut joints, or whatever you want to call them, coming out of the top and the bottom, and that would give you a place to plug into into the back.
I mean, the reason for saying it's a peanut joint is it's one of the ones that you should be able to pop out and open. It's like the elbows and stuff. So it might give us some kind of a hint as to what it actually is, because it would pop out. It would open up so that you could.
What do you mean? How would it pop out?
It's like the elbows. It's a peanut joint, so it's like it's actually gonna pull. It pulls down like that. It's not a regular. It's not just a simple ball joint.
Well, it's a two. Right, because you're saying because there's essentially two joints in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing about these necessarily really says arm. I don't know. And these are 0.8. 0.8 is a radius, so it's a almost 1 millimeter radius on those corners, which all those have to like match up. I mean, what's happening here is he's basically drawing how all of these radiuses have to match up, and you see these two little bumps. Those are going to give sort of stopping points of like friction that you have to go and kind of click through until it then reaches the stopping point when this curve aligns with this or this. So yeah, I'm actually there was one other suggestion. Kathy says I think it's the hip joints throwing us off with the bust in the picture. If these were hip joints, which it is possible, then I guess these must go up. Like it has to be upside down. And like the top kind of plugs into this, but
that's possible.
Let's take a look. I think that's the end anyway. Yep.
Back to the evolved frame.
I don't think it's. I mean, I think it's more likely. I don't think it's any of this, but I think it's more likely, like that is this.
Yeah, because look at the back where at the back of the chest there's a thing that comes off the back. That might be one of those.
Oh, back here.
Centerpieces that we were looking at.
Well, it would be in here, and this is off to this side. Then this lines with this screw.
Okay.
And kind of comes off the back there. Big beefy arm coming off the back of the neck there. Yeah, I don't know. This is. I love trying to figure out what these weird random things are. Someone says. Manuela says maybe a double knee joint. I think the double knee joint would have to probably come closer together and would need more movement than what that is showing. And I still don't know, like, this is not, the confusing part is not the joints. The confusing part is the combination of the joints with these pegs. It's very, very strange. But we will hopefully see, and if nothing else, we will maybe we entertain somebody.
Right. We hope that's what we do.
So now the part that entertains us and hopefully you. It's time for the
Smartie Party.
Came to party all night long. Let's sing along to every song. We don't need nobody's attention, don't need nobody else in our zone.
We just wanna dance on our own. We came to party all night long and sing along to every song.
Okay. Smartie Party just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, there were some cute photos in this one. I loved the photo of the Vision head
Yeah.
in the sleeping. That was very, very cute.
I like the group shots. Seeing like all, like 4 or 5 Smarties all dressed up in different ways. Yeah. That is so fun. Let me we're moving on down to our Q&A segment, and I'm going to just turn off our old-timey ness. So our first question actually probably is something we should do before we dive too far into questions. And Mimiko asks, what Smarties are on your table tonight?
Okay. Well, yeah, we actually dressed some. We didn't really go into a full costume, although you can't even see. I'm wearing kitty ears, but you can't see them.
Well, you can't see much of what's going on with her here either. All the blacks are getting crushed, because of the.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
coloring.
move her around and show her her outfit more. This is Kara, Supergirl, in a red wig because I really like her in a red wig, and she is wearing a skirt that I just got from Volks. It's this beautiful, soft, silky chiffon high-low hem skirt. If you get a chance to get one of these petty skirts at the high-low, they are so nice. I have one in white too that's on one of the other girls, but this one in the black, these are just beautiful and very versatile. And then she is wearing the nice lace tee from Smart Doll, and she's got on the Solar Marine cape because she was wearing it beforehand, and I was like, well, it kind of works for a witch. And then she's wearing this is I got this last year from Michaels. I'm gonna take it off.
No.
It's
Nobody liked
it is a hat that was on a headband for like a person to wear. But when you flipped it over, it just had a piece of felt holding it was a felt and then a slit, like a buttonhole slit, and then the headband went through it. So I just cut away the felt, and it's actually like exactly the right size, and it is a beautiful witch hat. It's all like covered in sparkles and has a big black rose and some peacock feathers on it. Yeah, it fits absolutely perfectly. It stays very nicely on the doll.
Did you want to quickly grab the others, or do you want to just do some questions? And
We can show off a couple that we did.
all right, let's do a question, and then we'll do another one.
Okay.
If I can find, I guess that is where it is. All right, Kathy asks, how long did your custom face up take, Katie? Katie has mine since July. I don't remember specifically. I know it came and went, and I know Katie's a lot came and went. That doesn't make any sense. It was a few months, but that was also largely at the beginning of Katie taking a bunch of commissions.
Like our first one was like one of the first commissions that she actually did.
So I mean, I know she's been very busy with work and everything. I would just check in with her.
And she's been in Japan too.
Well, there's that.
So yeah. Yeah. I mean, and she has, just check in with her. We can, we can't speak for her, but yeah. I mean, these things take time.
Yeah, I mean, it's largely, from what I understand, a lot of fitting things in and also dealing with like drying times and stuff. So if there's particularly humid times and things like that, that's one of the things that, other than just not having time availability, one of the biggest things that will slow down that process.
Because of like getting the Mr. Super Clear to dry properly and whatnot.
So let's do another Well, I guess yeah.
So, this is kind of a version of my styling thing that we were talking about doing.
Here is Princess Haku dressed up for Halloween.
Teddy bear. She got teddy bear shoes on. She's Haku the teddy. She's very, very cute. This is a
the ankle showing is not great for her, but
this
one
is
of her
a
weaknesses.
this is a Volks teddy bear kigurumi, and I added the bow.
Yeah, she is so. Oh my god, she is so freaking cute.
Her hair is like all piled in there, so it's kind of hard to keep that forward because her hair is like.
Yeah, I know it's pretty bad, but it's better than nothing. She looked very weird having her.
Barbie Witch says, "I am dead."
Oh man.
She looks really cute like this because it looks like she's like actually teddy bear short.
Let's see. Where did we get the tiny book and skull? This is like an ornament.
I
basically.
believe that was an ornament either from Joann's or Michael's. Yeah. I look for that stuff. Like every holiday, I look for things that we can use, and we bought that to use on the set for the Fates video.
Oh right. Did we did use it because it was on
Yeah.
their shelf or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was on the Three Fates video. So so that's that one.
Well, I might as well take this. Anna says, "Are you two going out later tonight for Halloween partying?"
No. We are going maybe watch a movie.
Well, I will be spending the next hour getting, the now with the way things are going, I am at the end of this spending the next hour or two prepping changes to for the replay, a new thumbnail, doing the chapters and stuff like that. So I will be busy for the next little bit, and then
movie or anime or something. Where we've been binging a lot of anime. What did we just binge that we loved? Oh, the first season of bottom tier character Tomozaki, I believe is what it's called.
Something like that.
Very, very good show. We binged all of the first season of that. And if you're looking for something spooky to watch, I'm going to recommend my favorites. My favorite currently is Shadow's House. Love Shadow's House. And if it can still get it, I don't know if it left Crunchyroll or not, but School Live is really, really good.
Oh, with the zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was laughing because of this. Halloween or Christmas? Neither.
That's really funny because we were just walking through the store today, and I said, I don't know, I'm not really into Halloween. I'm like, I love Christmas. I'm all about the Christmas stuff. Let's just skip Halloween and go straight to Christmas. And John was like, yeah, and you married me, basically. Like, he's not a Christmas guy.
I don't like Christmas. If Sandy's lucky, I have a manic episode some point in December and funnel it into
into Christmas.
Into Christmas. Not a healthy thing, but you got to take the plus side somewhere.
He likes giving presents and stuff, but he doesn't like putting up decorations and.
I despise. Yeah, no, I have deep-seated anger associated with decorating things, and taking out. It's bad. But
most of the time, at least the inside of the house decorating is me.
Oh God! But doing the outside, so much work.
I used to love doing the outside of the house, but I haven't done it in this house. So.
Yeah. So the answer for you is
Christmas.
Yeah, the answer for me is not definitely not Christmas. If I had to pick between them, Halloween. But I don't tend to we don't go to Halloween parties, and it takes. I'm such a perfectionist that it takes I have to start thinking about things. Heck, we couldn't even barely get this together, and we did it last minute. The procrastination, the ADHD, all of that stuff, the anxiety, it does not do well for me in terms of having to present myself in a satisfactory manner to other people and have a I got into I did what was his name? I did the for work. I actually went way past my comfort zone and did a costume for a costume work party one year. And I went as what's his name from Nightmare Before Christmas, the one of the kids, the Danny Elfman one, the red-faced devil or whatever.
Yeah.
We got a mask that was his mask and everything, and I made put a devil tail onto pajamas and stuff like that, and had a plunger. Nobody got it, and I was just this is why I need to go to parties with people who actually get the things that I like.
Okay, so we have the last one. This is a revisit. Speaking of the Fates. I'm sorry I'm taking Haku away from you guys.
No.
This is... I have put Miranda in the Clotho costume from our three Fates.
Get down there.
But I added the white skirt that's the black one from Volks. These are just so awesome. I just love these skirts. They're so soft and just flowy and gorgeous. So yeah, this is the costume that I made for Clotho from the Fates, and I put it on Miranda, and I think she makes a fantastic Clotho. We did not have her at the time, and we used Shiki, who was also fantastic, but this is really good.
Yeah, I actually prefer Shiki, I think. Because she has more personality. Sandy, I know in Discord you made an event. How does that work?
How did it work?
All right, are you asking how does it work to make an event? So that you're asking, can you make an event on the Discord? Or how does it work? What event is happening and what's going on?
We are having a sewing circle on the 6th. It's basically just a group video chat. And we just kind of hang out and geek out about sewing and crafting. And we usually end up talking about other stuff too. But if you have a question about something that you're working on, or you want an opinion on something, maybe you're making a fabric choice or something like that, people will answer, or you can just sit and listen and work. That's basically it. Yeah,
and I'm not seeing a response there. So if the question is actually how can more of you make events and things like that, right now it is something that is limited to us as far as creating the events. If there's something that you are looking to do and to organize, touch base with Sandy or myself or one of the moderators, and we'll see if it's something that makes sense to put in the events. And
yeah, I mean, and if it's something where you're well, I can't make it to that sewing event, but can we have another one next weekend? And I haven't put one up, and you're I'm willing to moderate it and run it and make sure that it happens. You let us know, and we put you down as the person who's running it.
Yep.
So.
Just making sure I haven't missed anything. Kelly asks, John, would you make a video making 3D props, not necessarily a tutorial, maybe a vlog style? I certainly am going to. I don't know what form it's going to take, because recording just constant messing around and 3D stuff and figuring out may not be overly interesting. I'll have to see what makes sense to record, but I know definitely, at least I want to start taking videos of like 3D prints as they're being made. I know there's like lots of ways that you can actually do like time lapse video of it. So there's definitely going to be more content coming out as that. I am still working out exactly what I want to help ventilate the downstairs and get an enclosure and deal with heat as we're now moving into, it's in the basement and we're moving into the winter, and resin wants to be operating at like 70 to 80, plus degrees. So there's a couple of concerns that I'm figuring out right now, but I am working on it. And I've got sort of a list that I'm kind of putting together. Yeah, that's where that's at.
And then we have a new arrival.
Oh, it's not really in costume, although the butt is showing quite a bit.
Yeah, she's a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We got the option head for Anime North in blue. She is absolutely stunning.
So we decided that North is dressing up as an alien tonight.
Yeah. I think her sculpt is going to be a neat addition to the stories to figure out how to add her. But
well, I think that sculpt is going to be the matriarch, first of all. Mm-hmm. But that would be in clear.
Yeah. So yeah, she's gorge. I had to have her. I wish she had her own body, but she doesn't right now.
We don't need that many blue. I don't know. Not every blue doll needs a body.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm much more okay. And if you are really into her, then she can be on a body more permanently.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The Barbie Witch said she had a question above. Did you put question in it? Yes. No, you didn't. All right. I found it though. This is why I asked you to put question in the question so that it'll flag it for me. So everything else is just massive text. Are you going to do any more Smartie sewing extravaganzas this year? What is a Smartie sewing extravaganza?
If we're talking about the sewing circle, that's happening on the 6th.
Or are we talking about like the Smartie swap?
The Smartie swap was supposed to happen, but I have some stuff coming up, and I will I have a surgery coming up. And I don't think that I'm going to be able to do that one. I'm okay, just something that has to be done.
Okay, so we're not doing the holiday Smartie swap.
We're not going to do a super secret Smartie swap this year. It will definitely happen next year, or maybe it'll happen as not a Christmas thing. It'll just happen.
It doesn't. It doesn't need to be Secret Santa necessarily.
Yeah, right. So it will happen again. I really loved doing that. Or if you're talking about just a big sewing project, I'm hoping to have at least one more before the new year ready to go. Hopefully 2, but definitely 1 that I was planning on to get out by Christmas. So.
Like No Other Designs says, do your dolls have any pets? If not, any pets that you would want some of them to have?
I have had my eye on getting an Eve Dolls Boston Terrier for a long time, but I also love the cats. Oh my God, the big fat cat.
Eve Dolls are really cool. I definitely want a Boston. The scale is the only thing that really stops me, but it is what it is. We'll just have to get it as big as we can get, which is like 10 centimeters, something like that.
Or 8 or something like that. I can't remember.
We'll see.
The cats look really good. I saw someone that had a Sphinx cat from them, and the scale is really good. So I wouldn't mind getting one of the cats too. I have this fantasy about having a dragon, but you figure how big an actual like dragon would have to be.
We have dragons.
No, I mean like a rideable dragon. But do you realize how big that would have to be? Like if you picture,
I mean, it depends on it depends on what you mean, but that like the circumference. If you're even assuming, there's so many dolls up here. If you're assuming like they're gonna like sort of straddle it, like it would probably want to be about this circumference, like a body that's at least an 8 to 10 inch diameter, and then however long that has to be.
Right. So it would need its own room.
But yeah, I really, really want the Boston Terrier from Eve Dolls. It's so good. Did you get any trick-or-treaters? This is Berry Wings. Last year I didn't get any, but this year I've had several large groups. My kiddo is loving saying Happy Halloween to everyone.
I think this is probably the first Halloween that it has felt like, I mean, last year people came out, but like I think this is the first Halloween that it's been like people felt like reasonably safe to go out and do Halloween.
Yeah. There was like probably 2 groups that came through. Mostly before we launched before the stream started. And I got out there like right at the beginning of it at 6 p.m. for us and put up 4 signs, and I'd put them down by the road, by the driveway, and no one looked at them, and they came up anyway. And this I plastered on the door, I plastered on the steps, I put them up higher, and both groups, the adults were like, nope, caught it before the kids even got near us. So
yeah, we weren't prepared for it, and our dog tends to scream when people come up to the door.
We don't prepare for it.
Yeah.
Halloween is the second most annoying holiday for dog owners, next to
4th of July. Yeah. Our dog freaks out, so we don't put anything up. When we lived in the south side of our city, they did a thing where everybody in our neighborhood sat out at the end of their driveway with lawn chairs and their candy. And the people even dressed up and stuff. And so instead of like coming up to the door, you were actually kids just walked down the street and stopped in front of your driveway. And that wasn't too bad. That was actually a pretty cool way to do it. But we also have a town that there's municipal funds, and they put a lot of effort into that, and our community center does a Halloween thing. We have a really nice community center, and they do a lot of stuff down there. And Halloween also our town says it's from 6 to 8. It's a 2-hour window.
Yeah, it's very, very regimented. Everyone goes out at the same time. You know when to expect it. And there's not enough like... there's everything around here is like hilly and sort of pockets of little neighborhoods, and you have to drive between them. Like it's not that you can't just sit there and walk house to house to house to house.
Yeah.
So you don't even really get like teenagers. I'm sure like half a mile away in another section, it's much more annoying with like kids going out at night and much later.
I think people take their kids and drive them to an area where they know there's a lot of houses that the kids can get to, and they get candy. And our area is okay, but it's not one of the better ones.
Jenny says, are you going to film when you go to DollCon? First of all, the plan is we're going to hopefully...
if things work out the way they're supposed to,
broadcast live from there and do the Smart Doll news. It'll be like Sunday morning or something.
I'm pretty sure it's like early Sunday afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, so Smart Doll that weekend or whatever, we won't do it on Monday. We'll do it on the Sunday right before that, and it'll be a little bit weird. But that's hopefully assuming that I can get everything in line, like technology-wise and whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna have to buy to make it happen, but we're gonna try and figure out a way. The other thing is like we've got permission to film. I have to think about it. May be a bit much in terms of like all the like I will be having nervous breakdowns like leading up to that show, like. because we're talking about not only doing a live show, but we're talking about broadcasting it and like all the things that could go wrong. But the plan and the hope would be to at least gather up some travelogue sort of video.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're pretty excited about it.
I mean, I'm at the very least going to, we're going to be meeting, Magical Girl Kit Kat for the first time, and Ben for the first time in person. I will be filming and I will be timing like how long the hug is and how long until somebody starts crying. Just saying.
I was going to say, the other thing is we have to remember today is actually the last day to get badges for $30 online if you're going to DollCon. And then I believe they're $50 at the door.
Yeah, so get those now if you want to save some money. It's still not enormously cheap or expensive, but I would say if you're interested in any of the some of the workshops and stuff, there are paid workshops, which again aren't horribly expensive, but things add up. So get your badge today if you can, and save yourself the money. And it is today, October 31st, with some hours left in it. So if you are watching on the replay, and this may very well be over for you. Let's see. Anna asked, we basically answered this. Are all your trick-or-treaters door nice? We don't know.
Not in this neighborhood. We don't know. Our old neighborhood, when we did them in South Hills, they were nice kids.
Yeah, I mean, they seem nice. We just don't participate. And yes, in our previous neighborhood, it's apparently a Pittsburgh thing. Now, we're outside of Pittsburgh now, but in downtown Pittsburgh, the thing to do on Halloween is you go down to the end of your driveway, and sit there with a lawn chair and hand out candy. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a lot more fun, and I mean, it was kind of annoying, but it was also like this camaraderie with the other people sitting out there and everything. And
so what? Barbie Witch explained that she was wondering if I was doing any more sewing collabs this year. Not really a collab. The latest one that I am working on is possibly a gift for someone, but it's not actually a collab. I'm actually doing it myself. So
okay.
That was the explanation of the previous question about sewing extravaganzas.
Right. Yeah. Kelly asked, John, would you do something like Sandy, sewing circles for 3D printing in the new year? I mean, I think that's not a bad idea. I have not that much to offer, but a lot to learn and listen and ask. And I'm sure there's a chunk of people that are working on it and can talk about what they're working on and some of the troubles. So I think there could be something. I also talked about this a while ago, but I find structuring like accountability to other people really helpful. I mean, I have ADHD, so it's like, having somebody else who cares about what the heck I'm doing and some expectation that it's going to get done is really helpful. So I find I talked about doing and I think we talked about doing this possibly as part of like a Patreon and stuff like that, but like regular, like if you're working on crafting and stuff, doing regular project like meetings, like weekly meetings, where, you'd hear what we're working on and you could talk about what you're working on, kind of like the sewing, but like on a regular basis, and sort of be able to get feedback and be able to
an accountability thing?
Help push each other, along. And
what's your next step on that?
Right.
What's the next milestone on that? Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely things to think about there, and I think there could be. I think I need to get an idea for how many people are doing, 3D printing in the group at this point. But And I think that is it.
Barry Wing says, "Oh my goodness, I would love to be there for DollCon and your Smart Doll News. Welcome to DollCon, Barry Wings."
Do it. Yeah, I apologize. It's like we get completely lost answering these questions and don't get to actually see a lot of the conversation around them. But I will read afterwards. Lee says there needs to be a Pittsburgh doll meetup.
Yeah.
I think when we've talked about planning after DollCon, I think we'll make plans for doing a Court of Disdain meetup.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few of us right here in this area, and then there's people in Ohio and stuff that would come.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, thank you all for sticking around with us. Good questions, and we'll definitely keep you up to date with what our plans are for the holidays and things like that. You may actually. We're working on doing some news guests and collabs and stuff.
Yep. Particularly if after I get done with what I'm doing, I might not be able to be on the news. So John might have somebody to fill in for me.
Some pinch hitters, and I just want to be able to have some guests on and speculate. Get a third voice in and speculate some more.
Yeah. That's all for us. Take care, guys.
Oh, we just got it, and that's our first time. That's the new thing. I've been waiting for that for so long. Angel Kitty, thank you.
Angel Kitty.
I made that thing weeks ago, and I've just been waiting.
And I missed it. I was like, oh, it went.
I missed it. No, you missed it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Angel Kitty. I hope if you missed the thing, you'll see it again next time. Bye.
Bye.